looking at the stamped divorce application. Vicky, I can finally be with the person I love. Then came a chorus of cheers and shots of encouragement. Vicky, congratulations, you should have left him sooner. Why keep a dog like that? Chat's way better. Chat, you've got to celebrate properly with Vicky tonight. I remained completely unbothered. I just wondered if she'd still be smiling. Once she found out the lottery ticket was fake, the sun blazed overhead. As we stepped out of the divorce registry, Vicky clinging to Chat's arm, like it was her personal lifeline. Friends swarmed around them chattering excitedly about the 100 million and the lavish life they were about to live. I hunkered back watching the spectacle with a cold, detached amusement. The luxury car I'd hidden in the parking garage across the street, shiny black with a ribbon tied to the rearview mirror, felt like a relic of a life I'd already left behind. Let's go cash the ticket first, one of Vicky's friends yelled, bouncing on her heels. I know a place downtown. They process big wins fast. Vicky's eyes lit up. She pulled the fake lottery ticket from her purse, holding it like it was a secret relic, and kissed it gently. Yes, let's go then. We'll book a table at that 5-star restaurant Chad was talking about. We're celebrating. Chad wrapped an arm around her waist, his gaze flicking to me with a triumphant sneer. Come on, baby, let's leave this loser in the dust. They turned to walk away, their friends laughing and jeering as they passed me. I didn't move. I just pulled up my phone and sent a quick text to my assistant. Cancel the mansion deed transfer and have the car detailed. Put it up for sale if you want. I don't need it. As they drove off in Chad's beat-up sedan, the same one he'd had since college, I hailed a taxi to my office. Truth was, Vicky had never known the full extent of my success. I'd started my tech company in our garage 5 years ago, back when we first got married. She complained about the mess and the late nights, so I moved it to a downtown office and let her believe I was still struggling to make ends meet. Her family's import-export business, it had been on the verge of bankruptcy until I quietly injected capital 2 years ago, all to keep her happy, to make her feel like she was the successful one in the relationship. I'd never told her I thought love meant sacrificing, pride meant letting her shine, but today that lie had unraveled, and I saw her for who she really was, greedy, shallow, and desperate for validation from anyone but me. By the time I reached my office, my assistant had already set up a meeting with the legal team. Mr. Thorne, she said, handing me a folder. The divorce papers are in order. We've found all joint accounts prior request, and the prenup you had her sign 5 years ago is ironclad. She gets nothing beyond the house, which she already thinks she's letting you keep. I nodded, flipping through the documents. Prenup had been Vicky's idea. Actually, she'd insisted on it, saying she didn't want anyone to think she was marrying me for money. Ironic, considering she'd only said yes because of the 7 figures, some I'd given her parents. Good, I said. Now what about Chad Hayes? I want everything on him. My assistant's expression darkened. He's got a rap sheet. Minor theft fraud charges from 3 years ago. He's been unemployed for 6 months, and he owes over $50,000 in credit card debt. Oh, and he's been dating 3 other women besides Ms. Sterling, all of whom think he's their soulmate. I laughed dryly. Perfect. Keep digging. I want to know every dirty detail. Meanwhile, Vicky and Chad had arrived at the lottery office downtown. The place was small, with a faded sign and a few plastic chairs lined up against the wall. A bored-looking clerk sat behind the counter, scrolling through her phone. Vicky practically sprinted to the desk, slamming the fake ticket down with a dramatic flourish. We won $100 million. The clerk glanced up, her eyes narrowing as she picked up the ticket. She held it up to the light, then typed a few numbers into her computer. After a moment, she looked back at Vicky, her expression flat. Ma, and this ticket is fake. It's a get gift. You can tell by the fine print on the back. It says for entertainment purposes only. The room went silent. Vicky's smile frownsy on her. What? No, that can't be right. It's real. I scratched it off myself. She grabbed the ticket, flipping it over to read the fine print. Her face drained of color as the words sank in. No, this is a mistake. Chad, tell her it's a mistake. Chad stepped forward, his confidence wavering. Look, lady, are you sure? Maybe you typed the numbers wrong. Let's check again. The clerk sighed, pulling up the lottery database on the screen. See, no winning ticket with these numbers has been issued in the past year. This is a prank. I'm sorry. Vicky's friends exchanged awkward glances. One of them, Leela, who'd been the loudest about celebrating, cleared her throat. Vicky, are you sure Alex didn't give you a fake? He's always been a little weird about money. Vicky whipped around, her eyes blazing. Alex, that bastard, he did this on purpose. He wanted to humiliate me. She pulled out her phone, slamming her finger on Alex's contact. But when she hit call, it went straight to voicemail. I'd blocked her number. 10 minutes earlier, Chad's face had turned a shade of red. He'd been counting on that money to pay off his debts, to impress Vicky, to finally have a win in his sad dead-end life. Now with the ticket exposed as a fake, his whole plan crumbled. So there's no money? He asked, his voice trembling. Vicky turned on him, her anger boiling over. You knew this was fake, didn't you? You just wanted to get close to me for the money. Chad stepped back, looking offended. Me. I didn't know anything. You're the one who called me, screaming about winning 100 million. I thought you were telling the truth. The two of them started arguing, their voices rising as Vicky's friends watched, some snickering quietly. This is your fault, Vicky yelled. If you hadn't been so desperate to marry me for my winnings, you would have realized it was fake. Chad scoffed, desperate. You're the one who left your husband for a fake lottery ticket. You're the one who thought 100 million would fix your sad, empty life. He turned to leave, pausing at the door. Oh, and by the way, those 999 roses. They were on sale. Cost me $20. You're welcome. With that, he stormed out, leaving Vicky standing there humiliated and furious. Her friends scattered soon after, making excuses about prior commitment. Within minutes, Vicky was alone in the lottery office, staring at the fake ticket in her hand. She crumpled it up, throwing it across the room, and burst into tears. But Vicky wasn't one to wallow in self-pity for long. She was angry. Angry at me, angry at Chad, angry at herself for being so stupid. She picked up her phone again, this time calling her lawyer. I need to reverse the divorce, she said, her voice sharp. Alex threatened me. He gave me a fake lottery ticket to make me leave him, but I want to stay married. I want half of everything he has. Her lawyer hesitated. Vicky, you signed the divorce application. It's a legal document. Reversing it won't be easy, especially if Alex doesn't agree. And what about the prenup? Vicky's jaw tightened. The prenup is invalid. He lied to me about his finances. He's been hiding money this whole time. I'm entitled to half. She had no proof, of course, but that didn't stop her. She spent the rest of the day calling every lawyer in town, trying to find someone who would take her case. Meanwhile, I was in my office, reviewing the latest reports on my company's growth. The overseas contract had just been finalized, netting me over $200 million in profit. I'd also received an offer to buy my tech startup for $12 billion. It was a life-changing amount of money, and Vicky would never see a penny of it. That evening, I decided to stop by the house to pack up my things. I'd agreed to let Vicky keep it, but there were a few personal items I wanted to. Photos of my family, a watch my father had given me, the vintage diamond bracelet I'd given her. Last year, she'd never worn it. Anyway, when I walked in, the house was a mess. Empty wine bottles littered the coffee table, and Vicky was sitting on the couch, staring at the TV with a blank expression. She looked up when she heard me enter. You, she said, her voice cold. You think you're so smart, don't you? Tricking me with a fake lottery ticket, making me look like a fool in front of my friends. I didn't respond. I just walked past her, heading for the bedroom. Where are you going? She yelled to get my stuff. I'm moving out, I said, my voice calm. Vicky stood up, blocking my way. You're not taking anything. This is my house now. I stared at her, my patience rang thin. Vicky, we agreed you could keep the house, but my things are mine. Move. She didn't budge. Not until you admit you lied to me. Not until you give me what I'm owed. I laughed. What you're owed? You left me for a fake lottery ticket and a man who buys roses on sale. You don't deserve anything from me. She lunged at me, her nails scratching at my arms. You bastard, I wasted 5 years of my life on you. 5 years of pretending to love you, of putting up with your boring, predictable life. I deserve half your money. I grabbed her wrist, holding her back. Let go of me, she screamed. Or what you'll call Chad, he's long gone. He's probably hitting up his next victim right now. Her eyes widened. How do you know that?